Ask the Expert, brought to you by Auger Hollingsworth.
All right, it is time to Ask the Expert on Your Morning Ottawa. Today, Brenda Hollingsworth from Auger Hollingsworth is here to answer some questions about what to do if you're involved in a hit-and-run accident. It could be a cyclist, a pedestrian, or just in general with a hit-and-run conversation coming up. Good morning to you.
Good morning.
So I think the first question is if you're involved in a hit-and-run accident by any means, what is the first thing that you do? We'll call it as someone that was hit.
Yeah, so apart from making sure you're physically okay and out of danger, this is a situation where you must phone the police. Sometimes people think, oh, well, we'll just exchange information. We'll go to the collision reporting center. That's all fine, but call the police. Ideally from the scene. Have them come, have them talk to witnesses, give them the description that you can give them, because police actually do investigate hit and runs. A lot of people complain that they don't investigate accidents the way they wish they would, but hit and runs, we do tend to get the police attention, and they're pretty good at finding the people.
Okay, let's say that you were involved, because I'm sure you've seen this case many times, where they didn't call the police. Where have you seen that come to a fault?
So it's very difficult. If they don't call the police and there are no witnesses, you have to prove that you were hit. Maybe if there's paint transfer on your car, that might work. But if you're a pedestrian and you're injured, you want to pursue a claim, you don't call the police, how do you prove that that you were hit? It's very hard.
And where do you find that hesitancy comes from? Because obviously, if something happens, first you're making sure that you're okay, but you're also in a little bit of shock. So where do you think that comes from?
It's hard to say, but cyclists are very vulnerable, and they are also, for some reason, the least likely to phone the police. I don't know why that is. I don't know if they are not treated well by police. I'm not saying that's the case. I don't know what the reason is, but I have many cyclists who come to our office who didn't call the police. Maybe it's their adrenaline, they think they're fine, they're not. But cyclists, you don't deserve to be hit, call the police.
Okay, I kind of want to turn the page a little bit and just talk about, because it's a terrible thing, but what could happen to you if you are involved in a hit and run and you do run and you do not stay at the scene. Can you talk about the ramifications of that?
Yeah, so there are Highway Traffic Act infractions. There are also criminal code charges. Many times the defendants in our lawsuits have also been charged either under the HTA or criminally. I have done examination for discovery from jail. There was one case we were involved in where a woman was struck as a pedestrian. She died. The person went and hid in his attic, and eventually the police were able to find him in his attic, and he served quite a long jail sentence. I mean, typically the people who run, not always, but typically they're impaired, or they're worried they might be impaired, and so the police are quite motivated to find them.
Right, so they try to get on that as quickly as possible.
That's right, and they may not be able to get the impaired because maybe too much time has passed, but they will make sure that you're charged with the hit and run.
Ask the Expert, brought to you by Auger Hollingsworth.
Welcome back, everybody. We have Brenda Hollingsworth here from Auger Hollingsworth. We are discussing what you should do as a pedestrian or cyclist or just someone at all if you're involved in any sort of hit and run. And we were talking before the break about, what steps to take, what should you do. But I think top of mind, if you're involved in a hit and run accident and the police, your lawyers, they never actually identify or find the person that hit you, is there still some compensation that can be involved? Walk us through what that looks like.
Yeah, so almost always there's still going to be compensation available. If you have your own insurance or you live with someone who has insurance, chances are that insurance policy has something that's going to cover you. Every insurance policy in Ontario has unidentified motorist coverage up to $200,000. So even if you didn't buy any bell or whistle, there's $200,000 there, plus your accident benefits. But most of us have something called the Family Protection Endorsement that brings our liability limits up to whatever we've bought. So if you have $1 million policy, you would have $1 million available in a hit and run situation too. So most people are protected by that. Some people live alone, don't have a car, never have had a car. Those people have access to the Motor Vehicle Accident Claim Fund. That's a public insurance fund. It's a pot of money available for that situation, and that's limited to $200,000 plus the accident benefits. I have a client right now, and that's the route that he has to take. He was hit and run, became paraplegic. They never found the woman who hit him. Fortunately, he had a corroborating witness, and he is claiming through the motor vehicle accident fund. So that is available to almost everybody. There's the odd exception. If you are not a resident of Ontario, it can be complicated. If you're hit in Ontario but not a resident of Ontario, there can be complications. But for most of us, there's a pot available.
Even what you just discussed, there were so many avenues in different situations for what you might be eligible or non-eligible for, or not understand it. And that's where someone like yourself or a lawyer can come in and really help you during a stressful time.
Yeah, there's no doing a hit and run case without a lawyer. I'm just telling you, it doesn't have to be me, could be me. It doesn't have to be me, but if you are hit in a hit and run and you want to claim compensation, you should absolutely talk to a lawyer, because there are certain things you have to prove. Because there's no defendant there, there's certain things you have to prove. Insurance companies just don't hand out money to people they say were hit by unidentified motorists. So you have to sort of corroborate it certain ways, and a lawyer can help you do that. This part of the insurance policy that you have is pretty complicated, so it's worth getting some advice.
Okay, and we'll recap kind of what we talked about at the beginning, and then your final thoughts on you're involved in a hit and run accident. You are the person that was hit. What are the first few things that you should do? So
always medical care, always calling the police. If there are witnesses around, try to get them to put their info in your phone or to give you their names. You're going to need witnesses in this case more than in any other case. Commit to memory or your phone or a piece of paper anything you can say about the vehicle, make, model, size, color, anything you can say about the driver, gender, race, anything that you can remember. If you get a couple of digits of the license plate, believe it or not, that is going to help. So anything you can do so that later on, when you have to prove that this happened the way you say it happened, it wasn't you falling in a crosswalk, you were hit by someone, it wasn't you just, cycling off the side of the road, you were run off the side of the road. Any information that you can provide is going to help corroborate your case so that insurance will pay.
So important. I mean, you don't want to ever be in this situation,
No.
but as we were talking about, it happens so much more than people realize.
Yes.
Brenda, we really appreciate your time giving some guidance
My
on this
pleasure.
really sensitive subject. And if you want to contact Brenda or the whole team about today's topic or even just moving forward, there's their phone number. You can email them as well. Website, ahinjurylaw.com. They're located at 1443 Woodruff Avenue and 304 O'Connor Street. Conversation today about hit and runs and how to best protect yourself.